That man
Yeah.
ego hurt, you know,
guy,
as well.
this guy has 1,000 followers, right?
Yeah.
My man got 40,000 views on the Nutmeg account.
Listen, I'm using that to slide into every DM
Like,
in
the
the
guy,
fucking world, bruv. Tell her
The
that,
guy
hey, babe,
that was running the activation.
look at the achievements.
I checked him still.
Look
at
at
the
that. That
accolades.
433 page put it up. It's got 27
Bro,
million,
it's everywhere.
26
but do
million
you know I'm
followers.
gassed for them
Brother,
as well? 'Cause
have
obviously
they
he plays-
credited him?
Yeah. No. They only credited Hackney Wick.
Brother,
But do you know
I'll
I'm
be
gassed?
fuming.
Oh, no, they did tag him in the
Hackney
video.
Wick, what's it called? They're losing their stadium in it, so for them it's good publicity as well.
Yeah, you were corping it out, fam, you nigga.
Nah,
fam.
fam, listen, that's my
Guy
guy.
was chatting about
Kasanga's
Hackney,
my
yeah.
guy, bro.
He was chatting
Kasanga's
about,
my
oh,
guy,
let's
bro.
get these guys around. I was like,
No,
nigga,
but deep
shut
it.
up,
waiting
No,
for him
but
to
deep
bring
it.
that up.
But deep it. How is there, yeah, Hackney Marshes, yeah, where everyone kicks ball, there's not a stadium in Hackney. You know how
Bro,
effed up that is?
Hackney Marshes is the stadium, fam.
I was gonna say they've always had the pictures there. Like, why don't
know
But
we
how
just
is there not a stadium? Imagine you can go to you can go anywhere in London. There's not a stadium in Hackney.
put a couple of benches on the side?
But this is
it'll
what
be
I'm saying. All you need to do is put one stand. Just put a stand. Just put something. How can there not be somewhere to play football in Hackney, bro?
alright. Fuck knows.
But when it's time for
we're
when it's time for Messi to come in, Messi, Hackney Marshall, and whatnot, fam, put a bench there.
That's true.
Put something
That is
there,
true.
man. You got these little kids running up and down in shit pitches, bro.
Oh well, listen,
It is what it
that's
is,
how you
man.
perfect
Listen, man.
your touch. That's how you perfect them dribbling techers. You know what I mean? Made in the jungle.
Was this what Juggle Badito? Anyway, man, listen, man. Welcome back to another episode of Stoppage Time TV, man. We're live back in the flesh, live and direct. You already know what it is, man. This episode is sponsored by Trapstar and the Elite Club. Oh, but listen, man, we're back live in the flesh. We're saying we're good.
I'm good,
Good to be back, man. I won't lie, I've missed it.
Welcome back.
MIA.
Time to restore the feeling, bro.
Readjust.
Come on.
Readjust, man. But listen, Premier League winter break.
Who saying no DSPs?
They already
Come
know
on,
what it is,
bro.
man. They know what it is,
Come
man.
back
Listen,
rusty,
if you
fam.
say it too much,
Come back
yeah,
rusty.
Lacking
if you
match
say it too much,
practice.
Fam, Fuad,
if you
take
say it
over.
too much,
It's
listen,
okay,
if
it's
you
okay,
say-
it's okay.
Make sure you're
It's okay.
It's kind of this guy's back, man. If you say it too much,
Apple,
if
SoundCloud,
you say it too much,
YouTube.
they get acclimatized to it. You get me? You already know what it is, man. You can't give them too much. But listen, man. Winter break.
Yes.
So Premier League action's looking a little bit meaty, but we're
Starvation.
still here to discuss things, man. Before we go anywhere, I just want to highlight that Everton are now 7th in the Premier League.
Listen, big Ancelotti doing bits, reviving.
He's not even.
Do you
It's not
remember?
even. I don't even find it that impressive. I'm not even gonna lie, man.
What, for
the rest
Everton?
of the team is just rubbish.
Do you
yeah.
not remember how
You just
bad they
gotta
were?
put
They were
down-
literally in the relegation zone. Start of
Yeah,
the
but
season.
I mean, all
Leaking
you gotta
goals left
do.
and right. Couldn't score goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's new manager impact in it, but all you got to do is really just. All you got to do in this Premier League now is win about 3 games, and your whole
little
position
patch,
has
yeah.
changed. So it's not that impressive.
You look at
But
what
on that
the
topic,
gap
though,
between what 5th and 14th.
It's crazy.
Is 7
It's
points.
literally 3 wins.
3 games and
3
you're up there.
wins, and we know none of these so-called big teams are winning any 3 games in a row.
Listen,
so 3
the
games in-
consistency is fucking awful at the
literally,
minute.
bro.
So I want to ask a question actually. We obviously know the quality.
The streets have been saying. You're not saying that no more.
No, but the streets ain't saying much, man. Everyone's on holiday, bro.
I remember even when we even had
Oh, wait,
young
alright, cool.
Tessie.
All right, the streets. What the
streets were
streets
here.
saying? What? Tammy's on holiday with Cho and that.
Man, I'm
doing
doing a
nothing.
Dubai
but
drip.
Mason Mount is doing practice.
Hey.
All the serious ballers are
You can
practicing
see-
in the summer. Everyone else is doing drip.
Listen, times like this, you see who the real
You
ballers
see who
are.
cares about. Okay,
You
the
see
streets
who's-
are saying that we know who cares about football. How about that? We know.
Aye.
We know who's training.
Certain man doing up drip content. Certain
Certain man are
up
doing training content.
Boy, you know
It is what it is. That's what the streets
The
are saying.
difference.
Do you man agree?
the end of the
I
season.
don't know.
we'll
They gotta
see.
enjoy their time.
Certain man are. Certain man
They
are
do
out
have
here-
to.
They gotta
Certain
enjoy
man are
their
out here
life.
telling us who their favorite 5 rappers are. But when it was Cho saying,
little TJ and shit. Don't know who that is,
listen,
but
let's go back to it, man. In terms of this, obviously we've said that there's a lack of quality in the Premier League at the moment. But with what you've said about if you win 3 games, you can be here and whatnot, would you say that the league is more competitive away from the top teams?
No, I just think it's like, look. You can call it. You can call it competitive if you want, but for me, it's just low quality versus low quality. Now, if that's entertaining and exciting for people, then that's them. But that's not exciting for me. Watching two rubbish teams take points off each other isn't like wow to me. What I like to see, if you know what I mean, like if it was like let's just say for example, back in the day, if there was like a Blackburn with Ewood Park, you didn't want to go there with Morton Gamps, Pedersen, and all them type of players, right? that was when you know
Billy
they could take,
McCarthy
you know what I
and
mean, they can take points off you. Like that's a sticky away ground to go to. They can take points, but you were still a top team, and you knew if we go Blackburn, whoa, it's peak. Do you know what I mean? Now who man? Liverpool. Liverpool aren't afraid of no ground.
No.
Like City are just having an off season right now. Chelsea, they're not good. Tottenham, they're not good. Man United are not good. Arsenal not good. Like it's rubbish teams versus rubbish teams. It's not all competitive. It's just
No, I
just
think
crap.
more to the point I'm saying
If Bayern came to this league, they'll be doing what Liverpool are doing. If PSG came to this league, they'll be
Facts.
doing what Liverpool are doing. Stop overrating
I
the
don't
Premier
think-
League.
No,
man.
that speaks
I
to the
think-
lack of quality. When I say competitive, I don't mean like the league can still be competitive, but the quality is still pants. And when I say competitive, it's because it's clear that Liverpool have gone. Now,
this way, I think-
all of these teams, if you think about it, from 20th
Yeah.
to about 10th,
I would
there's
say
not
they're
a
all
mini
the
league in
same,
the Premier
yeah.
anymore. These teams, like you
Back
said,
in the day, yeah, there used to be like 3 teams that you knew were guaranteed to go down.
Yeah.
I think like at the start of the season, you could say it. I think now with the Premier League, I think outside the top 6 anyway, I think it's all pretty much the same. Any team can beat anyone. Palace can beat Bournemouth. Bournemouth can beat Newcastle. Newcastle
this
can beat
way.
West Ham. Like,
I don't-
it's
I don't-
all-
So, but
and the
then
thing is,
what we're
it's,
saying is
we're not saying
relegation candidates can potentially finish in the top 10. That's what we're saying now.
100%. Like
That's
now,
dead.
but the thing is, I'm not
I'm
saying it's good.
disagreeing. Bro, just a quick one.
Yeah, I mean-
I don't know if it's factually correct, but if I look at all of the teams from 11th down, I'm pretty sure that at least every single team,
one
all
point or
10
another.
has been in a relegation
Yep.
zone this season.
That's embarrassing.
It is.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. In terms of the quality is pants. It's pants. But if everyone's on almost a level playing field, it goes back to what you said.
I mean,
you win
if
3
you guys
games, you're
want
up
to
the
call
dub.
it competitive, that's cool. But the team that are sitting in 8th have won 9 matches, man. This league's awful, mate. That's just my opinion. And people can say it's because Liverpool win. I don't care if Liverpool win the league. Liverpool are a great
Liverpool
team.
are storming
What
and a
people
cut
need to
above
realise,
everyone
I've
else.
said many times, Liverpool are an all-time great team in an all-time bad era. I don't see what's so offensive
That's
about
not a
that.
knock on Liverpool.
You know what I'm
as
trying to
well.
say?
Yeah,
I don't
it's
even
not a
see
knock
what's
on
so
Liverpool.
They're doing what they have
It's
to
just
do.
they 100%. They're
They're doing what they
doing
have to
their
do.
job and just setting
Like,
their pace.
for
But
me-
the rest of the league has fallen off so much. It's borderline embarrassing, honestly.
Like for me, I just think like everyone nowadays just try and play the same way. Everyone wants to do system and
Philosophies
passing.
and
I don't
playing
want to
out
seem
the
like a
back.
nostalgia guy, but back in the day, there was variety. It was variety. Do you
Some
know what I
man
mean?
play 4-4-2,
bro,
some
you
man
go
do this.
4-4-2.
Bolton.
Yeah.
Like,
They were
you know what I
playing the
mean?
long balls.
If you're
What's my man, the Greek guy, Stanislas or
Giannakopoulos.
Bro, if
sorry.
you're a
OGs.
centre back, right, you know you're coming up against variety each week. I know each week I might come up against 2 strikers. One's a big man, one's a little man.
Yeah.
Like you have so much variety in football back then, yeah. Nowadays, yeah, every single striker just off the last man. You get what? Who? Sean Dyche and that. Burnley, they're the only ones that probably, which you said that time. Burnley are the only team that now when they play, I look at them and I think, okay, they've maintained an old school, or
Identity.
they know what they
4-4-2,
are. They
yeah.
know what they are. Now, all the guys, look at the top scorers charts. All just get Ings, Tammy, Rashford, Salah. All these guys just want to do is run in behind. If you're a top team like Liverpool or City last season, it's easy to play against these guys. You're not coming up against different things. This is why I don't have Van Dijk as one of the greats personally. I just don't think what he's competing against is as good as what the
Which is
people on
not
the park
detriment
used
to him.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just
the
it's what
area
it
we're
is.
in.
Do you
I
think
think-
that all the teams in the Prem have adopted the European style of play?
Yeah, like why are
that's
sorry,
mainly
like
because
who's
of the-
last? Why
but
are
that's-
Norwich City playing out from the back and doing all this stuff?
but
Fuck
this
off
is the
and just go and get
this is
wins.
the managers coming in though at the same
This is
time
what
with,
I
all
mean.
There we
with the global appeal of the Premier League and all these
Yeah.
foreign managers coming in. Like you think who's it, Farke or whatever his
Yeah,
name is?
Farke, yeah.
He took them in the Championship, had them playing that style of football,
Yeah.
and they thought, yeah, do you know what, we can play pop ball when we go up.
I'll add another
They
one.
got bounced by
Huddersfield,
Liverpool.
who is it?
Huddersfield, same thing.
Wagner.
It's
Bro,
the same
look at
come up.
And the
what's
thing
their
is,
names?
it's
Leeds that
there's a
play
lack of
Failing to come up.
adaptability. That's
Yeah.
what I hate. Is for these teams when they come up, it's like if that tiki-taka ball or whatever don't work, there's an unwillingness to adjust and be more robust.
Bro,
I've
they
got
just
one
roll
further,
over.
sorry.
For me though, the top 6, I think the quality there has dropped off. I don't think you can say the rest of the teams below. I think their quality, each one of them, you can say there's probably a player in them teams that could play for a top 6 sides.
because the top 6 are crap.
100%.
No, but
I
the
think
quality-
that's
again,
what's,
that's the key
that's
point. The
what's
quality at the
taken
top
the
has
quality
dropped.
of the league down.
Therefore,
I don't think
everything
you can
else
blame the
is-
others. I think they've actually probably improved, like the
Yeah.
Wolves and the Newcastle and things
Yeah.
like that. But the
seen
top
Wolves
6
and
have dropped
Newcastle
off so
before.
poorly, I think, that now they've allowed the league to become this. The Arsenal now being what? 10th. That's just normal now. If they play Palace next week and they lose, nobody's
That's normal,
surprised
yeah, no one
anymore.
blinks an
Do you
eye.
see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
hey, listen,
and that's
the
how
football's
bad
gone.
it's gotten. Like you say,
Unlook-
to the dogs.
Unlook, in terms of those clubs, right, it's hard because there's almost a glass ceiling where it's very unrealistic for a club to come and break down what the traditional top 6 is you get on coming. Like a Everton could probably creep up, a Spurs can creep up, but the other clubs, it's tough to break that. So what you're in a position is, if you're doing this whole Premier League safety for year on year and year on year, after a while it's kind of like we've seen this. And Stoke is the perfect example. Year on year and year and year and year, same thing. You know what, Rory did that long throw, we'll change it to something else, we'll change it to Peter Crouch scoring goals. After a while it's like, you know what, we know we can't go any further than this. We want a bit of excitement. Okay, cool. We'll start bringing in some Barcelona rejects and whatnot. And after a while, that's not sustainable. What happens? You end up championship.
Just not enough variety in football.
That is the problem.
It's just getting
for those
boring
teams.
for me, man.
Question: do you think we've lost the English culture in the Premier League game?
Well, you have, because you've lost those managers.
It's almost become uncool. That's what I would say. I think it's like nowadays with, like you said, I think just a minute ago, where because England have had so many unsuccessful tournaments playing English style of football, I think the media immediately brush it off. If you play that long ball style, you're prehistoric, you're dinosaur. It's similar to what they do with Jose sometimes. But I think at times it can give you identity, and I think British teams, for me, massively have lost that. Every team now is, like we said, trying to play fancy football, but...
And I think I agree.
Nowhere.
It's lost it. It's definitely lost it because, as you said, it's frowned upon now.
And it's a shame because it's your own flavour. It's your own sauce.
Exactly.
Bread and butter, man.
It's like
Bread and butter football.
you complain, right? Like you complain about the one thing that everyone hates is that there's this whole managerial merry-go-round of Mark Hughes, Alan Pardew, Steve Bruce,
Sam
Roy
Allardyce.
Hodgson,
Those guys keep you up.
all of
though.
them guys. I'm sorry,
keep you
them
up.
guys do a job. Unfortunately, they
you
do
up.
a job.
Keep you
Newcastle right now are 12th with
Steve
Bruce, and Burnley with Sean Dyche. He's not a merry-go-round because he's been there for
Roy
the whole
Hodgson.
time. But Burnley, as I said earlier, they play a certain style of football and they're not going to change nothing.
So
And
do
they are
Newcastle.
not getting relegated. What are they? They're 7 points clear. I bet by the end of the season, they'll be at least 13 points clear of the relegation zone. Them lot are comfortable.
I'd
And
start
then what do people want? Exciting football and relegation? You guys can go and do it in the Championship with Ben Rama and all them man with Ben
Facts.
Brentford and that if you want. Or you can be in the Premier League team and get that revenue, get that money, and yeah, I'm trying to say.
Do you know what I will
build
say
on
though?
that,
It
yeah.
is
People
for
want.
us though. I would say we're fortunate enough to support teams that are kind of here. Like, we're saying this from almost a privileged position. I don't know like a Burnley. Well, Burnley may be different, but like a Southampton fan might tell you, you know what, I'm going week in week out. I am bored of seeing this. I want to see a bit of flavour. Like,
All right,
it's-
you can see that in the Championship if you want. You can go into
Listen.
the Championship and do that if you want.
Of course, no, I get what you're saying, but you have to put out there that because we don't support these teams, like I know Palace fans, right, and I know how much they're fuming. I know how angry they get sometimes because it's like, you know what, okay, we're doing well, but there's nothing else.
It's probably because they still got Benteke up front. But
Bro.
one
But
goal in
listen.
34.
You scored
Listen,
yesterday.
that
Thanks
finish
for
here
turning
was
up.
so poor. Pickford. Oh my God.
Thanks for turning up this season.
Huh?
He was unlucky with
Did you see the one that come off his chest and just hit the bar?
For
Guy is
me,
just,
I just think football.
just got no instinct.
Yeah, no, football is
I just think football's on the decline. I don't think the great players, even if we're talking about in a world scale, the great players that we have I just don't think are comparable
Well,
to the
that's-
ones
that's
back in
a
the day.
perfect segue.
We were just talking about
Nostalgia.
Kaká and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm getting people in my comments telling me KDB same level.
leave
I'm not even going to
KDB
go back
alone.
into that. We
Every
look at.
week,
No,
pick
on the
on
real
KDB.
though, we look at what. You guys think Kaká KDB same level as Kaká?
Just-
how can you compare?
That's what I'm trying to say. And then
Kaka's another.
And I just think you just look all over the pitch. Honestly, bro, you just look all over. Like I
you've
would
got to
probably
remember
say.
that a lot of people didn't watch football
But
back then.
football's
No,
changed
but,
though.
bro,
No, I'm
I
being
think
real.
football's
I'm,
changed
let
a
me
lot.
be real with you. A lot of people didn't watch football back then. Let's
Look
be
at
real.
the
Young.
Let's call it
Sometimes
this.
you have to just
No, but
understand that this is their
I'm saying
job.
I'm saying forget young people. I'm telling you now, people now don't have BT and Sky Sports. Talk to us of watching ITV back then and the midweek to watch Champions League. Like people
Bro.
generally did not watch football back
I
then.
just think the quality has
not the same.
reduced. You
It's
look
not
at
the
this.
same.
You look at the best strikers in the world. They don't come close to the best strikers back in the day. You look at the wingers. You look at the centre mid.
Look
It's
at the
just
centre
the
half,
game is
everything.
the game is gone, fam. And
No,
if
I'll say
people wanna
defensively,
accept it,
I
they
think.
don't accept it.
No, in
Attacking-wise-
general,
I'm
the
hearing
game is-
people tell me Wijnaldum's world class. Wijnaldum in 2005, he. And then even 2000, how far back do I need to even go? Let's even say like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
Wijnaldum them days, he'll be playing probably for Newcastle like he was recently. I'm not even trying to diss him. He's a
No,
good
the
player.
thing is-
the truth
but
is the truth.
people are going over the top with everything, in my opinion. Like Sterling,
we definitely throw around the word
Sterling
world-class
is one of the
too
best
loosely.
wingers in the world.
You
I
was
remember,
pushing that
yeah.
narrative.
And
I was
didn't
gonna
change
say,
it?
yeah,
Didn't I
he-
take that back though? I told you, man. I don't think he's the world class anymore. And you look at that. You look at when there was Bale, Ribery, Robin. These guys are elite.
Hazard.
Hazard, yeah, he's still elite, but you still got Bro, I just think I
No,
don't know. I
this
sound
is-
like
I
I'm
think we
ranting
throw
in
this
the,
is the
I think we
perfect
throw the
segue, though.
I
term
just think
world
the game is
class
gone.
very loosely around. Though
100%.
I think
And this is-
nowadays, if a player has like a good season, he's immediately branded world
World
class.
class. Or if you've got a good patch of form,
100%.
it's-
Whereas
or-
for me, world class came from being at the top of your game
For a sustained period.
sustained period of time, like 2, 3, 4 years, where you're at the top and
You're-
one of the
you're
best
elite.
in the
You
world.
are
Yeah,
elite
you
in
are
every
in a
sense of the
class
term.
in the world of your own, basically.
bro.
and
nowadays
you know what
it's
people are
just
doing as well? Again,
good
like,
patch of
Frankie
form.
De Jong, world
Yeah.
class.
I don't wanna
Gets
bring-
out
Brother,
of
what are you
here.
talking
I don't want to bring
about?
back the Henderson
Yeah.
thing
My
again,
lord.
but again, like people are throwing the term world class for not actual talent. It's following instructions and stuff,
Yeah.
which is frustrating. But going on to one of the questions that we wanted to address, speaking on what you said now, Jadon Sancho is battling up Bundesliga.
Prime example.
Now there's a lot of people that are coming out and saying
Prime
Jadon
example.
Sancho is a world class player.
And part of that is, I think, excitement. I think people sometimes, they love to see a young talent.
Okay,
they
let's
see
put the
putting-
question out there. Is he?
Me personally, no.
Is he for you?
No.
Nah, he's not world class, but he
He's-
can
he's-
become world
he's
class.
en route.
For me-
This is what I'm saying. He's en route. He's doing all the right things. But for me, there's three things. You've got to have 2 or 3 for me. Regular league business, got to be doing it. Champions League and international level. You've got to be doing 2 of the 3 at least at a top level for me. And I think that's when we can, and over a sustained period of time. This kid's now been at Dortmund, what, 2 years? Like, not enough time for me, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Champions League, have we seen anything?
Let me
At England,
He's had a
have
good
we
game
seen
against
anything?
Barcelona.
let me throw in
That's
something
about
One
it.
game.
there as well in
I
terms
mean,
of.
that's what I'm saying. We need a sustained period of time before we can start. Like,
No, but what's the rush though? Why do we?
that's
need
what
to
I'm
call-
saying. I
What
don't
is
get
this-
the rush.
Why do you need to
like,
call him world
you
class?
usually hit your peak mid-20s or
Yeah, I
whatever.
mean-
It's like straight away, man's 19, and we're
Yeah.
calling him world class. Relax.
I guess
time.
if when you look at, I guess people do it because if you look at the people that in his age, because how old is Mbappe?
21.
Yeah,
But Mbappe's taken an entire World Cup on his own.
I know,
He's
but
tore up the
this is what this goes to.
Okay,
this goes
okay.
back.
Argentina.
This goes to what we're
Did he
saying.
not dismantle them?
Like,
First
Pogba
knockout
was,
round.
Pogba was good against Argentina.
But this goes to what we're saying though, in the sense that you've got, when it's Mbappe, it's different because in terms of the tick boxes, world level tick, sustained period tick. Sancho, people see
He's
a
getting
glimmer
there.
and they kind of put it together. I think another issue we've got is in terms of world class. How many? When I used to look at it, you couldn't have 10 men that were world class in one position. You got where I'm coming from. Like
yeah.
world class was an elite club. Like it was
Like a top 5
like,
almost. Yeah, top
almost.
3.
I don't want to put any parameters on
Yeah,
it, but
yeah,
it
yeah.
was, you couldn't just go around saying world class, world class, world class. There was probably like 3 or 4 guys that you said this was the level. If you want that level of these 3 guys, then it's you are the guy.
Yeah.
I think what happens now is, like you said, because football's so poor and people don't stand out, when someone has a good run of 10 games, it's like, this is the caliber everyone needs to be
Immediately.
at. But that doesn't mean that you are world class in the moment. And why do you need to be world class
I don't know why.
at
it is.
19?
I feel like look, Sancho puts down great numbers, right? He's
great.
got 13,
I would like to
13
say-
and 13 so far this season.
I'd
something
like to say that league.
Yeah.
I would like to say, if we're talking about the Premier League, I'd like to say that league.
Can't
Dortmund
lie.
score 5 goals every single week.
Yeah, I know.
Bro, yesterday,
for me,
Leverkusen
4-3.
Dortmund was 4-3.
I'll be honest, that
on.
league is end to end.
Defending don't exist.
The way I see it is, as soon as you get past the halfway line, the team says, you know, we're going to concede, we'll start from kickoff.
Everybody
That's
plays
how
such a high line.
No, but
it's
that's how the
unbelievable.
German league looks.
One
to me.
ball over the top splits
And
defenses.
it doesn't surprise me that you get high scoring results like that. It doesn't
Yeah,
surprise
yeah,
me that Haaland goes there and scores every 20 minutes. Don't get me wrong, his quality level is insane.
Yeah.
But it doesn't surprise me that he scores every 20 minutes when
No,
it is like
definitely.
that.
For me, like, yeah, you, as I said, he's doing his thing, right, numbers wise and stuff. But we see with him, I need to see it for more and more seasons, as you said. I need to see it more and more seasons. Champions League, the Euros is coming, which I keep saying
That's a big-
Euros is coming for a lot of man.
100%.
Let's see what
Yeah.
they're really on. Do you know what I mean?
Boy.
But sometimes it's just like you just got to look at somebody's ability level, right? It took me 15 games to know Mbappe is world class. I don't care what no one said. I knew he was world class at Monaco.
Yeah.
You just some people are just too
The eye
are just
test
too
is
gone. Mbappe is gone. For me, Sancho's a top talent. He's not gone. He's not generational. Do you know what I mean? Mbappe is generational. It doesn't have to take you long to say he's world class. So that's fine. But with Sancho, did I say Sancho just earlier? Or
Yeah.
did I say a different name?
No, you
yeah.
said
So
Sancho.
with Sancho, it's like he's very good and he's doing his thing. But the way he plays, I need to see it more consistently. I don't look at Sancho and think, oh my God, I'm never going to see it. I might not see a talent like this again.
I want to say
So it's not
something
world
again.
class.
It's
No,
not to
facts.
liken the two, but remember when before Lisbon, before Man United, Ronaldo, Lisbon and whatnot, it was like, okay, he looks good. Came Man United. He wasn't labelled world class then and then.
But
It was
Ronaldo
kind of
didn't
like,
get world class until 2007.
but remember, it was, this guy has a top, he could be a top talent.
Yeah.
And I think we get into positions where maybe because, again, the level of football is so poor nowadays, if you have a run of 5 good games, and again, this is another thing that annoys me, if you have goal contribution, people say that you're world class. For me, I get goals and assists are what the game is about, but goal contribution is not everything in the game. People cheat their way into goal contribution.
Yeah.
Let's be real. There's people that get assists, right, for deflected passes, like, and we have to be careful here because,
But, it's
don't get
real.
me wrong,
It's
it's
real,
like,
yeah.
don't get me wrong, like, it's good, but it's like, for instance, Pulisic got 6 goals, right, and people are like, oh my God, this is an amazing return from winger. It's a hat trick. It was a hat trick, and like a few goals here and there. But
Same with Tammy as well.
again, Tammy's a good example. He
2
hasn't
goals
scored
in his
2
last
in
10 games.
10. He scored 2 in 10.
Come on, so
Like,
man, them are
we
just,
have to be
when
very
I bring out
careful
the
that-
stat pad word, they get mad.
We're
Yeah,
watching
Yeah, you have to
saying
be
that.
careful. Like,
We're
no,
watching
we
that.
can't be Opta.
Yeah, you're not
Like,
saying
we
that.
cannot be Opta. Like, people can't look at a span of 10 games and say, like, people see a player in like the French league. Oh, he's got 7 goal contribution in 10 games. He's going to be the next world class talent. No, that's not how football
relative.
works, man.
It's all relative.
It's not how football works.
Yeah.
Remember when Henry was coming through at Arsenal and whatnot? He wasn't contributing
Like,
man like that, but it's that you could see the
thing is,
ability.
Actually watching, like,
Yeah, eye test.
actually watching and having the eye test is like, as you're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo when he first came, what a talent he was. Do you know what I mean? We couldn't call him world class.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing things consistently, but you could see that's an amazing player and you would call
You
him a
could
good
see
player.
the
I would not
ability.
look at Ronaldo and be like, how many goals and assists has he got this season? Oh, he's got 4 goals. Oh, he's dead.
We're
I wouldn't
definitely
do that.
obsessed with
But now,
stats,
yeah,
more than
it
that.
has
Yeah.
become
We're
like,
definitely
the
obsessed
only
with
way
stats,
I
yeah.
think you should be is that if you're doing a high level, like I get people don't like watching Mo Salah, for example, on the eye. But I'm sorry, he's giving you guys nearly 30 goals, 40 goals. He's breaking records.
like-
So then you got to give him his cut. You got to be like, he's an amazing player. I know he's not good on the eye. Raheem Sterling as well. He's not that great on his eye. But if you're going to keep doing it, you got to give him his flowers at least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But all these guys that are getting, you know, they got 6 assists. They got 6 assists in 9 games. And then all of a sudden, we're calling them some top playmaker or
Yeah.
something.
It's
No,
like, we've got to
bruv.
relax.
No,
man.
no.
We've got to
Yeah, I
relax.
mean,
around way too easy.
We've
It's
got to
like,
relax.
bro, that's why everyone gets gassed with KDB. But that'll be for another day, bro.
Another day, you did it last
That'll
week.
be
What's
for
going
another
on?
day. I'm
But,
telling you.
Like, every week he's coming.
Speaking on English players, we mentioned Sancho, right? In terms of English players right now, who would you say the world class English players are?
Harry Kane.
Nah, it's not Kane for me.
It's the only one I can think
I
of.
don't think England have a world class player.
Do you think that?
You want to say Harry
maybe-
Kane's one of the best in the
maybe-
world?
Maybe
In his position?
Trent. If you're talking about what he's been doing as a right back, he's been outstanding compared to other right backs in the division in the world. You know what I mean? Kane's not. Sterling's not.
Hater.
Who else could even be argued? That's about it.
Some people have been arguing Henderson. But
I'm not
let's
even
not
gonna
go
get
there.
into that.
We don't have to go there. The
I would,
reason
say,
I ask
I would
is,
say we potentially have none, 1 to none.
the reason I ask is because
It's like being real, man.
do English
facts.
players have to do more than foreign players to be deemed like a world class performer, a world class talent, or world class player?
Yeah, but that's mainly because I think foreign talent 8 is more inclined to move around, and especially like come to the Premier League to prove their talent. I think a lot of the time with the English talent, the reluctance to leave the Premier League, makes it harder for them to actually get shine and get in the first team, and then B, only the cream really rises to the top for me. So I think until English players are willing to actively start going out to the other leagues and start testing themselves, they won't easily be branded world class because everyone will look at
I'm
them
of
and
the-
say,
I'm of the
"Oh, he's
opposite belief.
good, but he's good at Premier League.
I'm
Can
of
he
the
come and do?"
opposite
Hold on, just to say your question, because you said, who are you addressing it? Because when I see the media, I think they're quick to call English young talents potential world class
yeah,
and
yeah.
English players. Are you talking about the public or the media? Because
I
the
think it's
media
for
call
me.
people world class.
For me, it's a bit of everything. On your point, bro.
Yeah.
I think the issue we have, right, is the media are quick to call people world class talent in England, right? But I think that literally foreign players for me have to do more. Because if you look at it, right, random name, Richarlison. If Richarlison was English, Lord have mercy.
The hype around him would be,
If
but I think,
Richarlison was English, they would be talking about him.
yeah,
I mean, it depends what media
That's
you
it.
listen to, though.
No, of course, but-
Are we talking about the English media or are we talking about media in general? Because I don't know what the Brazilian media are saying about Richarlison.
No, they're big not, but I'm saying in terms of
So
on
they could
our
be
shows,
calling
in terms of the
they could
Premier
be calling
League.
him next R9. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Boy, let's
You-
not
we
speak
don't
Because
know.
that's what he said earlier.
Start
We
sound
don't
like
know.
Arsenal fans, bruv.
Bro, we don't know what they're saying about Richarlison. Do you know what I mean? If it's the English, then okay, of course the English
Definitely
media are
not the
going to
new
pour
R9.
more attention to the English players.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get what you're saying. If Richarlison
Yeah.
was English, we would be we'll be singing into heavens. But
Yeah.
this is the English media.
It
We
goes
don't know
back
what
to
they're saying about
I
him.
can't remember what player. There was a player that was saying that they said that they didn't know who Jack Wilshere was. I think it was Balotelli. He was like, I didn't even know who Jack Wilshere was before I got here. Like,
But that's what I
everyone
mean.
was-
Like the English
was
media will
pushing
hype
everything
them up, and it's like when you go outside of English shores, how highly rated are these players? So can you even really call
you
them
remember
world
that?
class? That's what I'm saying. It's
Nice.
like
That's a big shout.
English media and English people might think some of these players are world class or whatever, but you take them out of the Premier League, they might be fish out of water and look way out their depth. I'm sure if you took, I don't know, people at Henderson, the example, you put him in the Barcelona team, what happens?
Yeah.
Drowning.
Listen, put him in the England team. Just put him in the
That's what I'm
England
saying.
team. Put him in the England
Even
team.
Trent, you're saying like Trent,
you don't
he
know.
would have to adjust or something. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure it's. I think English players definitely get lauded as top level and top tier way too quickly for me. Like, even not to say even like Rashford this season has been getting a lot of love, and he's now being held as one of the greatest talents. And I'm like, hey, we've seen a good season. Let's see 2 or
Let's
3
see
more. Do
sustainability.
you see what I'm saying? Sustainability type of thing. But
Do you know what another issue is with all of this is, right? In terms of, again, this all for me, it all goes back to eye test and ability. That's what it goes back to for me. Like, there's a lot of English young talent that is good, but if you look at the ability, the eye test and whatnot, it's not like, oh, we're going to die on this hill. Do you get where I'm coming from? Rashford is one of those ones where you've been on that hill for a long time, and I hear that, and the talent is starting to become evident for more people. But an English player could literally get a run where he gets 4 goals and an assist, and it's like this person's world class.
Yeah.
But we're ignoring the talent. Why football's become so obsessed with numbers these days? We actually ignore the talent. If you look at like the French national teams and whatnot, the actual ability levels in those teams is immense.
But then at the same time, I do think that, I mean, you could say that, but at the same time, I do think it could even lead to being underrated as well. Sometimes.
Of course.
Sometimes people are doing well because they're English and they get a bit underrated, in my opinion,
an example.
on a world scale. For example, like, let's say the Paul Scholes. Okay, am I going too far behind? Or
No.
Like the Scholes is the Gerrard. These guys were some of the best players in the world, in my opinion. And because they were English, they weren't getting the clout that.
That's what I think.
That's
You
my
see,
opinion.
Lampard,
If you
I
look
thought
at someone,
Barcelona, for example, always wanted him.
Who?
That is proof of
if
that.
you look at, for
you are
example,
of that ability.
if you look at, for example, if I was to mention someone like, let's say Pirlo, and he's a great player, right? And I say Paul Scholes, you would think you can't even put Paul Scholes and Pirlo in the same conversation.
Because you see,
Paul
for me,
Scholes
I don't think
he's an amazing.
I'll
I'm
be
trying to
real
say
with you,
because
I don't
it's
think
that's how I see.
Pirlo
I think
really
international
got
affects
credit
things.
like that till Euro 2012 when he
To the
started doing
end,
bits
towards
in
the
Italy.
end.
Yeah,
And
but
then
now
Juve
he's
when he
now
got
he's
there.
like in an
He's
Like
held
at
up, yeah.
AC, he
Yeah,
was
I'm
always
trying to
just
say.
lost in the sauce type of thing around Seedorf and all these. But until later in his year, that's when
It
he
was
got
towards
the
the end of his career where
appreciation.
everyone was like, hold on, this guy's
Yeah.
a bit of a genius.
And wait, I'm gonna even go back.
At that time when Gerrard and Lampard are popping,
I'm even gonna go. I'm
definitely
even gonna
people
say me personally, like, and I'm going to, because before the World Cup, I was a Kane fan, right? Every single season, Harry Kane had to still prove, oh, can you do it? The guy's putting down 30, putting down 40, putting down 30 again. He's not world class. He was world class. But the general perception was that Harry Kane's not world class. Why wasn't he?
I think a lot of people was.
So if we're going to talk about just the English media,
in the world.
Yeah.
A lot of
I
people
mean,
think he's the best player in the world.
it now just
Me
depends on who
personally, I
you're
was
talking
hearing
to.
So,
It just
literally,
depends on who you're
that's
talking
what
to
it
now.
sounds like we're
Because
saying.
for me,
definitely hearing
Harry
he's world
Kane
class.
always had to prove something. Why
I
did
think
he
the
always have to
first couple
prove
of
something?
seasons, I
You
think
know what I
that
mean?
was it 2017 when he hit that calendar year 50-something goals. I think that's when it stopped becoming a debate for me. Anyway, I think
But
everybody
even so,
started to
no,
give him the
I
accolades
agree.
and say, when he got back-to-back golden boots or whatever it was, that's when people, I think, were like, all right, cool, do you know what? He's one of the top in the world, boom. I think now, obviously, he's had the few injuries, people are more inclined to say, we'll see. But
I have to be honest.
undeniable for
I
me.
do get where you're coming from in terms of even so, it was like people would say, he's there, but he's not. He can't talk to these guys.
Lewandowski,
He's in
Aguero,
a tier
and-
below.
Why
It's
couldn't
like-
he talk to them?
because maybe they've won the silverware where he hasn't. You know, silverware always has an effect on people.
This is now
It
going away
always-
from.
But
you
it
know what I
does.
mean?
It does at the end of the day.
Football's
It
sad
does.
now, man. Football
Like,
doesn't make me
I
happy
don't know.
anymore.
I just think sometimes when you do look at like ability and all this stuff, if there was a player, for example, doing what Trent is doing at Barcelona, We'll call him
Danny
world class. No, I'm not gonna say he's Alves level, but if Trent did exactly what he's doing at Liverpool, at Barcelona, he's world class. Don't even talk about it. People be talking about Kimmich.
I
How much are you guys even watching Kimmich that much? Anyway, Kimmich. Trent is performing.
I think
So sometimes you can get underrated because they're English in that example.
It's the same thing where I said, even with Henderson, like a few weeks back, I said if he was German, I think the perception on him would be completely different.
They'll be seeing him as
industrious and he's a midfield engine.
People calling people like Khedira world class. That guy's been bog standard from forever. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He's just like an English Henderson. He's just like a German Henderson, but he was being talked about like he was top class. He's never been top class for me, and that's why he was always linked with Arsenal.
Too injury
only.
prone.
If you think about it, anytime it was linked with Arsenal. If you're a top player, you don't get used to Arsenal.
Man.
Do you know what I'm saying? No, but on the real, like, I feel like if you look at some of the ability, like, I'm not even going to talk about Tunes because people will say, for example, Grealish is overhyped. That's what people will now start trying to say, right? Look at his talent, his ability. His ability is right up there. But because he's at Aston Villa and because he's English, it's not going to, it's like, oh, let's see. But you'll see. I'm telling you, you'll see.
I think
ability-wise, he's way up there. Ability, he's way up there.
so?
Who do you think is the most overrated player in the Premier League?
That is our next question.
Lacazette's overrated as hell. He's average. If we're being real.
Who's on your hit list?
For me, the most overrated player is, I'm gonna go mine. For me, it's Lacazette. When are Arsenal fans gonna start expecting goals and expecting some form of standard from him? Lacazette has 5 league goals this season, 18 games. I don't want to hear about his hold-up play. I don't want to hear about his link-up because he's not being deployed in the same role as Firmino. Stop comparing him to Firmino. And then when we take him away from comparing him to this fake Firmino role that we're trying to do, we start comparing him to Tammy's and Rashford's. And them men are 22, you know. Lacazette's 28. Lacazette's 28 spent big peas. Arsenal did not sign him to be some link-up, hold-up player. No, as I've always said, Aubameyang is a striker that can potentially get you through a season, right? In terms of the big games, you know I've got my reservations about him. Lacazette, I'm sorry, he can't carry you through a season as your number 9.
100%.
He's just not good enough. And Arsenal fans need to start accepting. I don't care about his hold-up play because you're making things up. Arsenal want him to be there to score goals. Firmino is acceptable. I have Salah on my right. I have Mane on my left. Yeah. Lacazette, you are there to score goals, and you are not still contributes. He has 6 goals in all comps.
But the issue with Lacazette as well is, for me, I think he's actually stopping their 2 best players
from actually playing the position that they want to play in, and that is criminal.
Martinelli, who's burst on the scene this year and has shown massive ability, and then Aubameyang, who you're saying has been carrying them for God knows how long.
Martinelli's not their best player.
As of right now,
he's shown levels.
As of right now, I would start Martinelli ahead of 100%.
I would start Martinelli ahead of Lacazette. So for me, I think that's the biggest concern.
It's criminal because
he's keeping them out of their natural position.
Yeah, the manager is having to compromise other players that are performing for you, and you're not even showing glimpses of scoring goals.
But what I don't get is why he's got such a leeway. Guy hasn't scored more. His highest scoring season in the Premier League is 14. Rashford got 14 goals in 22 games this season, right? In the league. If you look at
what's his highest tally?
14 goals.
How many?
And he scored 13 last season. I don't even know what Calvert-Lewin's
on 11, I think.
But what I don't get is why is there such a let's wait and let's be patient for him when you have players like Fred, for example. Look how Fred was the bum of the world, innit? Last season, 1 season. Now this is Lacazette's 3rd season. How long? When is it going to be that he's becomes Arsenal's top scorer? And
I like that you said
ridiculous,
that because
mate.
how long do we wait for Martial?
Martial, yeah, I agree.
That is one I would think.
See, people think I'm biased. I agree with that.
No. I'm just saying, like, let's talk about him because for me, I think he's as someone who was a big fan of him. I think over the last year, from what I've seen of him,
he's not shown enough, man.
I ain't seen enough to say that he's going to be that guy.
He's not going to be world class like that, I don't think, ever.
No, definitely.
But is he going to be, because...
There's a reason why France don't call these guys up. And the funniest thing is people say, the good that you said Martial, right? Martial and Lacazette are 2 guys that because they don't score goals now, we talk about their link-up play and their touch and stuff. Yeah. The reason, when you say when you say they don't get called up for France, why? They'll say, oh, because Giroud is there, and he likes Giroud because of what? Why does he like Giroud? Because of his hold-up play, because of his link-up. Yeah. But I thought Martial and Lacazette give me this. What they give me. I thought they give me this. And then they meant to give me goals as well, because Giroud, we know he's not going to give us goals, but He's far better with his link-up play and hold it than them two. So if this is what we're going to be praising Martial and Lacazette on, they can't get in the France team ahead of Giroud. I'm sorry, let's stop talking about them.
2017.
Let's stop putting them in any discussion.
My big issue with Martial is I remember do you remember when Payet was in the league, right?
What a player, bro.
And people were saying that, I can't believe Payet is going to get into the squad ahead of Martial and whatnot.
Bro, I was one of them. I was like,
Bro,
yo,
and the thing is,
I'm
thinking
not saying he should have got ahead of Payet, but I was saying Martial needed to get selected.
The reason I'm bringing this up for a reason. I'm bringing this up for a reason.
He's too cold.
Payet, no matter what you say about him, ability is mad.
Through the roof, yeah.
I cannot hand on my chest say that Martial could even do what Payet's doing in the French league.
No, but for me, ahead of Tovan at least.
Tovan had a good season. Tovan was only outperformed
during that
by
period,
Neymar.
Martial was doing bits enough for me to get
the only person that was
only one season.
The only person that outperformed Tovan in the French league was Neymar.
But you got to remember, after that debut season as well, though, he had Zlatan and Lukaku coming, which pushed him out wide. So I was like, you know what, give him the benefit of the doubt. Not playing in his natural position. But since
what's
then,
his natural position? People like to say
I've always said, for me, his finishing ability is too good. I think he's a 9. But I think the fact that he's been pushed out wide now is almost like he's lost his shooting boots.
No,
he's more of a dribbler now.
He's one of those players where, and you see it a lot with like kind of younger talent, where when you don't nail down what you are, when you don't find an identity,
you get lost in the sauce.
That's what happens when people start talking about your link-up play and whatnot, because we don't have anything to hold you to a standard to. So as the years go by, he's just going to continue to get diluted. Like, I don't want to direct it to you, but look at like Walcott was once a winger and he's like, we're going to play him up top and whatnot. Walker only just finally got 50 assists after 16 seasons.
Sad.
You get where I'm coming from? I don't want that to be Martial's destiny,
bro.
But that's what
playing
happens
since 2006, you know.
But that's what happens when you're one of these players where like you don't have an identity. It's kind of like you just become, okay, you know what? We'll throw you here, we'll throw you there, because you don't hold yourself to any standard.
Like for me, what it is, is that maybe if Martial was playing when there was a trend of 2 strikers up top, he might be a good striker.
It's a big and small.
As a number 9, I don't think he's there. Like,
he hasn't got all the attributes.
You got some things can't be taught, right? You can be a coach, you can be whatever. You can't teach something. You can't teach hunger. You can't necessarily teach movement. You've got to want it. You know what I mean? What did Ole say? Ole said, "I want a striker that will break his nose and score a goal." That is something that you need. You can't teach these things to some players. Calvert-Lewin would even break it. Richarlison, he will bust a gut to get a goal. I think Martial hasn't got that. Just got that hunger enough for me to be a striker. As a winger, okay, you want it to your feet, you want to dribble. Even though, look at Mbappe's movement, he's gone. He doesn't even need the ball. He's off the ball. He's amazing.
Mbappe pace-wise is too
Martial,
much.
he wants the ball to feet. The only way you're gonna get it is maybe potentially on the left wing. And I just don't think he's a great player.
Else is on your list?
It's just beating around the bush.
Let me
go for. So we got Jordan Pickford. Overrated?
Oh, mate. I don't even think he's rated anymore that much. I think people are starting to realise
I think
he might not even start thinking.
Boy, if England need any hope.
People are saying Pope and Henderson.
Then there's, I got 3 signings here that have been made in the last year. And Maguire. Overrated?
I don't think he's overrated. No.
Okay.
Can I throw something
Benjamin Mendy?
Can I throw something about Maguire quickly?
Benjamin Mendy.
I don't see
because hear this, he signed for City 2 years ago. Was part of the France winning team, Centurions, formidable. How much of a part has he played?
Yeah,
it's not done anything.
And how many? Like aside from that, I think
injuries,
was it last year when he? I know with injuries, that's what I'm saying. With 6, what was it? The 6 games he started with like 6 assists. Apart from that, I ain't seen much of Mendy. And I'm like a big fan of Mendy. I love the social media shenanigans and all this. I love it. But at some point, we've got to start looking at the player and saying, is he actually that good?
I think with Mendy's one,
do we wait longer with Mendy?
When there's injuries involved, it's a bit tough.
Yeah.
But when you're playing week in, week out, and we're seeing you, and you've been held to this standard, it's a bit... With Mendy, the jury's still out.
Okay.
Who was the last person?
Felipe Anderson.
No John Stones.
Stones, I don't even think... I
Who
think
rates
he's
Stones?
I think he's rubbed now.
I don't think
Pebble.
Shit
player.
We don't need to talk about
Can't be calling him Stones no more.
Henderson is clearly at the moment the most overrated.
With the Maguire one, the reason why that is interesting to me is because...
he called him Pebble, yeah?
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? It's an idiot. It's so dumb. But
tell me I'm lying.
Remember when he was bought for a big fee, right?
I'm so sick of him, man.
And that fee is not his fault. It's not his fault at all. Like, it's that I can't hold him to that. But the issue I have with Maguire, right, is It's this guy.
You love it.
I said pebble. For me, I just don't want him to go like Phil Jones. That's what I genuinely don't want.
Bro,
I
people
don't
are
want it.
jumping the gun too.
No,
early, man.
I don't want him to go.
I'm
like-
not saying.
I don't
I'm
want
not
him to
saying
go like
he's-
Phil Jones. And the reason why I say it is because when Phil Jones was bought was Blackburn, right?
Yeah.
He had the good season where you guys won the league. And then there was this high praise that he was going to be one of... No, it's a mad quote. Oh, he's going to be one of the best players. It's a mad quote. I don't know where it came from, right? But Phil Jones he was a bread and butter guy. He could play a bit of the ball, right? But he was bread and butter.
Yeah.
As soon as the bread and butter wasn't working, everyone was like, hold on, what have we done here? Maguire is a bread and butter guy that can play a bit of ball.
For me, the only reason why I say overrated is
If
since the World Cup.
Yeah. If
the
he
love
starts
he's been
declining,
getting,
if
then the move-
Maguire starts declining, it can generally become a situation
Yeah.
where it was like with Phil Jones. In terms of people like, okay, what do we actually see in this guy? And I don't want it to happen for
I
him.
think-
'Cause he's
I
a good
What
player.
about Felipe
I think-
Anderson? Because you were bigging him up last year.
I said that
You
at the
was
moment he was on
loving
form. I didn't
Felipe
say
Anderson.
he's a top player. He was on form. Was he not?
How much was
Try
he bought
go
for?
back and let's see if you sell me say
How
he's
much
You
was
was,
he
you was
bought
trying to
player.
put him on par with Son Heung-min last year. I
on
remember.
form. On form. You were trying to say he's the player of the year. I said that Felipe Anderson at that point was playing at the same level as
I
Son.
don't know what point Felipe Anderson was player of the year.
You don't remember from when he first signed to
I
January.
think he
was
scored
hard.
like...
Nope,
he had
Not
like-
playing yet.
He had like
Not
7
playing
goals.
yet.
Nope.
Bro,
I
don't
don't
say
remember
Felipe
Felipe Anderson
You might have
banging like
wondered
that.
because on that video we
Yeah,
were
that's
talking about Van
7
Dijk is easy. We were saying who gives an outside chance. That's when this Donny
Outside
was
the
saying
top six, yeah.
Mitrovic
Wait,
and all
was
that
it
type of
the
stuff.
Mitrovic one?
What are you man talking about?
That was
Yeah, I said, fam, man was saying Son at that time. It wasn't Son, bro.
No, but
That's
here's
what
the
I'm trying to
thing.
say.
With Felipe
He's only
Anderson.
got what one assist this whole
Dude,
season.
He's rubbed. He's rubbed.
Absolutely.
Again, with
He's just a luxury player.
it goes back to what you said about the goal contribution thing in terms of with that, right? Like even if you're not giving me goal contribution, I want to see something. I want to see like the Vavavoom, and like his Vavavoom just disappeared.
And then the last three I've got, I think are players that are on form this season.
Yeah.
I think are getting a lot of love.
Yeah.
But I think there's still time to be seen. One, Grealish, you've mentioned. Overrated.
If you're putting him in overrated, then you don't watch football, fam.
Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments.
Give us the reason behind it. Why is he overrated?
For me personally, I think good player, but I think the fact that he's being lauded as like, oh, he can come and save United, he can come and save Spurs, and
He's good enough to play. He's willing to
he's
walk
good
into
enough
them
to play
teams.
for them. But I mean, I think even Traore for Wolves, I think this season, brilliant players, like great form, both of them. But I think people are gonna expect too much, almost to the point where I'm not sure whether they can continue it over a long period of time. And then the last one, I think
we can.
we've beaten like a dead horse, Henderson.
Yeah. Henderson's overrated.
Don't get me wrong. Henderson is a
Like,
good
and
player.
the worst
He's a
thing is,
competent
out of
footballer.
those three, Henderson has the longest track record
But he's
of
not good.
playing
He's
sustained,
overrated,
at
man.
a
Trust
sustained
me.
level.
Like Henderson is.
But
see.
There's
he's the
nothing
one you
wrong
would
with-
say is overrated, but the other two you wouldn't.
The thing is, there's
Time will
there's
tell,
nothing
bro.
wrong with being a good player, man.
There ain't.
There's nothing wrong with actually just being a good footballer.
But out of the three of them, I would say
There's nothing wrong with just being a very good footballer or operating,
Henderson,
doing the basics
I
to a
wouldn't
very
say
good
he's
standard.
overrated.
You don't have to be this shiny player, like. But listen, man,
There's
that's,
loads of players that are overrated, but it's not even necessarily overrated. It's a lot of it is like overstated. If you said that maybe Jack Grealish is overstated in terms of he talked about too much, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But
That's
in
what I
terms of
think.
overrated, I don't think he's overrated. I think he's rated to the right level. I think he's good enough to play for England, which people say he
starting to
should.
see Grealish FC
And he's good enough.
falling on
And he's
Twitter
good
now.
enough to play for Man United. He's good enough to play for Arsenal. He's good enough to play for Chelsea. He's good enough to
but
play
they
for
say
all these teams.
Barcelona around the
Oh, yeah.
Brother, that was the
They
one
didn't say that. They said that he's
rattled
linked.
me
That-
the other
if
day.
they're linking him, they're linking Adama Traore. They link it. Barcelona and Real Madrid standards not that high, bro. That's what I'm gonna say. It's not that high.
My brother.
They got dickheads like Vidal and
Listen,
Rakitic and
Grealish
them
is
men not
playing
doing
at Aston-
nothing.
Grealish
And
is
you
play-
man will never stop rating these guys.
No, but the thing.
Am
the
I right
thing-
or wrong?
The issue I have with Grealish
I'm wrong.
is the fact that he's
Oh, my
at Villa. He's a youth product.
And are
he's
you
a
seeing the
cap-
carry
Wait,
job?
wait,
Are
let
you
me
seeing the
finish, let me
carry
finish.
job?
He's doing the carry job. I love it.
Have
But
you
the thing,
seen a
he's
carry job
youth
like this
product,
before?
He's
Have
the
you?
number 10.
Any of you?
Everything is going to go through him. So he's due to look good if he
Alright,
does
we'll
his
see.
job. But I'm saying in a team like Barca, Real Madrid, you're a bit part, bro. Like,
You
you
need to
need
be
to
a
come off
baller.
the bench 10 minutes. If you're calling him the Midlands Isco.
Let me tell you
Isco's
why.
struggling to get in the Madrid team. The
Let me
real
tell-
Isco.
Let me tell you. why.
And you want to talk to me about
Madison-
Grealish?
Madison's the-
Bro,
is the
come on.
legend.
Ability talks, right? There's a reason why people like Grealish are linked to Real Madrid and Barcelona and not a Madison.
No reason.
And not a Madison because they see ability, fam. ability. You guys don't
They
see
just see
ability,
media
fam.
hype
You
job,
guys
man.
just see the game weird.
know
I
what?
don't get how you guys see the game.
Before we
bro.
sign out,
Listen,
all I'm gonna say
When I
is
look, sometimes you guys see the game
just
weird,
love
fam.
young,
Tear
techie
down.
players.
Nah, you guys see
we're
the game
free
weird.
haircuts.
Yeah, bro, you know
You guys see the game.
We're
I'm telling
jeans.
you.
I see
I
that
rate
11
jeans.
teams
Listen,
later.
I warned,
Nah.
I told you, man, about Grealish from a long time ago from Championship.
I've-
Everything I said is right so far about
I-
Grealish.
I have
He's a
a lot
top
of-
player, and
I've
he's
got a
proven
lot of
it.
time and
He's
respect
proven
for
it.
him. I think
He's
with-
proven it.
I think the best example we can give is, you see when Hazard came through at Lille, right? The ability level was clear to see that, you know what, this guy is
He was a cocky little shit.
who Hazard.
Yeah.
Like
He
there's
was-
certain players
he was
where
so
you
good, he was
see it,
cocky. I
like,
loved it.
Before we started talking, we were speaking about KDB, right? You could see that he had ability level at Chelsea, but we didn't know it was going to be there. And I think that's probably where like a Grealish falls at the moment. Is that right to say? Where it's like the ability, we can see the ability.
Bro, he's producing. You
Bro.
man, tell me a bigger
Grealish
carry.
right now is in
tell
a
me,
system that suits him.
tell me, yeah, bro. The Grealish is right now not even playing with a striker.
Exactly.
What
So
system is
everything
suiting
goes
him?
through
Yeah,
him.
he's playing
But
with a
so he
striker.
has.
Who?
Now
This
he's got
Samatta guy.
Nah,
Samatta.
the striker.
Listen,
that's not a
matter.
striker.
I'm saying
That's
everything.
it's a player. That's not a striker.
He's scored.
One of
Do
my
you know what a
haters,
striker is?
First
Do you know what a
Tanzanian,
striker
yeah.
is?
Yeah, but he's
Big
a
up my
striker.
Tanzanians
Do you know what a
out
striker
there.
is?
He's a striker.
Listen,
Don't take it's not a striker either.
disrespectful, this
Hold
guy.
on, hold on, hold
Why
on.
are you buying him? He just
Disrespectful.
came to the league. He's
Brother.
a striker.
Hold on,
No,
hold on,
don't,
hold
no,
on.
I'm not letting you rub him out. I'm not letting you rub Tanzania out like that.
No, he's not rubbing
Come on,
up.
people on the
I'm not
map.
getting him up. I'm getting up. Let's see. Yeah.
Where's these
Grealish?
pants?
Let's see. How
Bro,
many goals?
everything is going
Hold
through
on, hold on,
him.
hold on,
He
hold on,
said
hold on.
The same reason why
Hold
you
on,
was
hold on,
fucking
hold on.
saying, who was it the
They
other
got.
week?
They're playing with Wesley up top. How many? Wesley went on like what? 15-game
loving
goal
him
drought,
earlier in the
right?
season.
Wait, me? You mix
No,
me
but
up
they're
probably with
still
your brother or something.
strikers still.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
They're not. Are they good?
He is
Are they
the
good?
main
He's
creative hub in
right
that
now.
team.
Right now, he's working with absolutely nothing, and he's producing more. What is it? Most created chances, right? Most fouled.
It's the Pogba thing
The
last year.
guy is
Do you remember
ridiculous,
Pogba was
bro.
number one in all them categories.
And what you gonna say?
But
Pogba's a
surrounded by
bad
dog
player?
shit.
I'll be no.
Are you gonna say he's a bad
be
player?
real.
And surrounded by
No.
dog shit.
I
So
hear
this
what
is
you're
this
saying.
is now.
But
Yeah,
let me
if
be
you
real.
perform at a lower club, you can't get ratings. This
Can
is
Grealish
what's going wrong with
play
the
for
game.
higher team?
Let's see
This
when
is what's going wrong.
Can Grealish play for higher
This guy's
team?
ready
What's
to call
going
him
wrong?
world class.
No,
I
can
can see
Grealish-
I've not said
can
he's
Grealish-
world
He's a
class.
few games away from
Can
saying
Grealish-
that he's world class.
Can Grealish
I haven't said he's world class.
Can Grealish play for
You
higher
see the
team?
group chat. I know you do.
Can Grealish play for higher team?
Yeah.
Can Choro play for higher team?
Yeah.
Henderson is playing
I
for.
think they'll be
one of the
limited
argu-
though. I think
Henderson-
they'll be limited. I don't
this-
think they'll have
This
the
is the
same
issue. with
All I'm
conversation.
gonna
they're
say,
doing now.
listen, you man can argue as much as you want. All I'm gonna say is Pep
We'll see.
Guardiola said that Grealish is one of the best players in the
here
Premier
we
League.
go.
Simple as.
And you know
Not
what?
my words, Pep Guardiola's words.
And that's it.
Not my words, Pep
Stoppage
Guardiola's
time.
words.
All I was
Not
saying
my
is,
words,
listen,
Pep Guardiola's.
guy. It's
been a
Hey, I've
pleasure
got a
being
PSA
back.
for people quickly. If anyone plays FIFA Pro Clubs, yeah, come and shout me, fam. Come and play against the bullies, bro. Come and play top 40 club in the world. Come play against the bullies. That's what I got to say.
This
Shout
guy.
me, DM me, Instagram.
He's a goalkeeper in
for a
that team,
game.
you know?
Yeah, yeah, right. For a game.
Hey, the goalkeeper of the
Bullies. You mad about the goalkeeper?
Where'd you play?
Just see. You'll see when you come and play, innit?
Listen,
You'll see when you
That's
come
it.
and play.
commentator for the
Bullies.
team.
That's
Come and
another
play
episode,
FIFA Pro
man.
Clubs.
Pleasure being back. Remember, DSPs, Spotify.
Also.
Listen, man.
Oh, yeah.
We're there, man. We're there,
Big
man.
Daddy.
Big
No,
goal
it's
scorer.
Father.
Yeah,
But listen, big striker.
back in the net.
But listen, man, remember Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, all of that good stuff, man. All the DSPs, man.
And shout out
Back
that
another
Hackney
week,
Wick Donny,
man.
that Nutmeg Kaka as well.
Hey, for real.
Yeah,
Legend in the
listen, man.
streets.
Listen, that's what dreams are made
Legend.
of.
That is the definition.
That is what dreams are made of.
Legend.
I'm never cleaning my foot again, bro.
Brother.
What do you mean?
Kaka sending him the
Are you
boots
mad
as
or
well.
what? But listen, man, that's another episode, man. We're out.
Hey, let me show him what Cam's eating.